רלף, ערב שבת קודש, פרשת ויירא, תשפ"ג. ספר בראשית was sponsored by Ralph and Amy Sasson. Their mind is all the time in Eretz Israel, but their body is in America. But their connection to Eretz Israel is outstanding. This week Parashat Vayera, was sponsored by an anonymous in honor of Yeshivat Moreshet Yerushalayim. Kadosh Baruch Hu will bless Ralph and Amy and the anonymous with Birkat Hashem, and Kadosh Baruch Hu will fill all their wishes in the Tovah. This week parasha, we are reading about Akeda Yitzchak. We think that Akeda Yitzchak was something that happened around 3,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, and after the Akeda, it ended. But when we look deep in the Mefarshim, we see that Akeda Yitzchak continued and came with the Jewish history much further. Akeda Yitzchak reached Ma'amad Har Sinai. Where and how? One time we mentioned about the shofar that was made from the ram the ram that Abraham sacrificed instead of Yitzchak. The horn of this ram, the blow in Ma'amad Har Sinai, came out from this horn that was made into a shofar in Har Sinai. But now today we will not deal with this, and we will continue to find the connection. The Gemara says that when Am Yisrael came to Ma'amad Har Sinai, they used a special expression that they said that didn't fit a human being. When they came to Ma'amad Har Sinai, they said, נעשה ונשמע. Borei Olam wanted to give the Torah. The whole nation said, נעשה ונשמע. But this is the opposite way that a regular person speaks. Because usually a person says, nishma ונעשה. Let me first of all hear what you want to give me, what is the rules, and then I will do. But you don't say I will do before I will hear, I will understand what's the idea behind. And the Gemara says that when Am Yisrael said נעשה ונשמע, a heavenly voice, a bat call, came out and asked a question. Who revealed this secret to my children? To use these words, נעשה ונשמע, because this is a language, this is the way of behavior of angels. As the Pasuk says in Sefer Tehillim, in Perek Kuf Gimel, Pasuk Kaf, Baruchu et Adonai kol mal'achav גיבורי כוח, עושי דברו, לשמוע בכל דברו. מלאכים עושי דברו, נעשה, לשמוע. After this they hear, after this נשמע. לשמוע בכל דברו. And the heavenly voice, the heavenly question remained as a question in the Gemara. There is an answer to this heavenly voice or not? Maybe we can answer, we can give an answer to this heavenly question. We can say that everything that the children has, they got it from their parents. The education of the parents are being passed to the children. And therefore, we call our parents as a father, because the purpose of a father is to pass over his behavior to his children. Abraham Avinu, when he was walking to the Akeda, Borei Olam appeared to him, and he said to him, קח נא את בנך, את יחידך, אשר אהבת, את יצחק, ולך לך על ארץ המוריה, והעלהו שם לעולה, על אחד ההרים, אשר אומר אליך. Let's think a minute. Abraham Avinu, he was a teacher to the world. He opened the yeshiva and he publicized Borei Olam. There is a creator to the world. And what did he teach there? The world, where at that time they worshipped Avodah Zarah. And one of the ways to worship Avodah Zarah is to sacrifice children. They used to sacrifice their children. This is called Ma'avir Bno Lamolech, to the Avodah Zarah. One of the things that Abraham Avinu taught in his yeshiva was that Borei Olam doesn't like these things. Borei Olam likes the life. He doesn't like that people will sacrifice their children on purpose. And Abraham Avinu had this question. Suddenly Borei Olam says to him, go and sacrifice your son. His heart, let's think what happened to his heart. His heart immediately started to beat. He said, what's going on here? Borei Olam will tell me this thing to sacrifice my son? I thought all the time that my son, that Borei Olam doesn't like children to be sacrificed. So, and how I will appear among people could be because of this. Abraham told Ishmael and Eliezer that escort him. When they came close to Har Moriah, he told them, Shvu lachem po imach harmo. Stay here, don't go. Don't go further. Because he didn't want them to see such a thing. How he will explain them this? And beside this, Abraham had a private question on Borei Olam. This was one question that Abraham Avinu had to confront. Another question that had bothered Abraham Avinu was that, Borei Olam, you told me that I'm going to have a son, and I will have children and grandchildren. כי ביצחק יקרא לך זרע. And now you're telling me, go and sacrifice him? Abraham Avinu, as we see, he is not asking any questions. Even though he had a lot of time that the Samach Mem stopped him on the way, and he could have asked Borei Olam, what's going on here? Abraham Avinu is going, woke up early in the morning, and he's going to do what Borei Olam told him. No questions. After Akeda, says the Pasuk, ויקרא אל המלאך השם מן השמיים, and he told him, אתה ידעתי כי ירא אלוקים אתה, ולא חסכת את בנך את יחידך ממני. Now I see that you have יראת שמיים. You fear בורא עולם, you love בורא עולם. And here we have a question. And here says Rashi, he brings them a drash. Amar Rabbi Abahu. After Akeda, Abraham Avinu stood in front of Borei Olam and he told him, Borei Olam, I have a complaint. Some time ago, you told me that I'm going to have a son. כי ביצחק יקרא לך זרע. Then, 3 days ago, you changed your mind and you told me, go and sacrifice your son. And now, when I was ready to sacrifice him, you are telling me, Al tishlach yadcha el hanar, don't sacrifice him. Borei Olam, you contradict yourself twice. Question is here. You see that Abraham Avinu, he knew to speak to Borei Olam. He had a direct connection with him. He had a phone. Whenever he wanted, he spoke to Borei Olam. When Borei Olam wanted to destroy Sodom, Abraham Avinu spoke with Borei Olam. Now, he's also speaking with Borei Olam. But why he pushed the question? If he had the question and he decided to ask the questions, why he didn't ask the questions before? Why he's asking the questions now? After he said he was ready to sacrifice his son, and Borei Olam is saying to him, don't sacrifice. Here, Abraham Avinu taught us the way. What's the way to deal with Borei Olam? What's the way to fulfill what Borei Olam says? Abraham Avinu here, he planted the seed. The way to worship Borei Olam is when he says to you to do, do. After this, you can understand that you want to understand. In other words, he established the idea of נעשה ונשמע. This happened in Akedat Yitzchak. This Abraham Avinu passed over to his children. And therefore, we can understand that when they came to Ma'amad Har Sinai, what did they say there? נעשה ונשמע. You are angels? No, we are not angels. But we have already a gene in our blood that we got from our forefather Abraham. That the way to worship Borei Olam is נעשה ונשמע. We see here that Akedat Yitzchak didn't stop after the Akeda. It continued. It came to Ma'amad Har Sinai. But there is another aspect that Akedat Yitzchak continued as a snowball and came also in all the generations till our generation, till nowadays. Abraham Avinu, he came and he was ready to sacrifice his son. This was one of the tests that Borei Olam tested Abraham Avinu. Nowadays, a lot of people were tested in the same test, but by them, they didn't hear the voice of the angel, Al tishlach yadcha el hana'ar. A lot of parents are standing and stood with their children that were sacrificed on the altar of keeping Eretz Israel, of protecting Eretz Israel. The last week happened in this. There was a girl that was a captivity by the Hamas, and the army succeeded to bring her back. But before she came back, her mother fulfilled the mitzvah of Hafrashat Chala, and she was screaming at that time to Borei Olam that her daughter will be released. She cried a lot. And while she was crying and talking to Borei Olam, in the middle of the crying and praying, she said 4 words. Borei Olam, I love you. I love you while I am in a big trouble. This shows me a very high degree of a woman. She's not a daughter of a rabbi. She's not a wife of a rabbi. She's a regular Jewish woman that had emunah. She hit the right point to open. She gave the key to Borei Olam to open the door for her daughter to come. We have a pasuk in Tehillim, two psukim in Tehillim. In Tehillim perek nun, pasuk tetvav. The pasuk says, Ukraini, call me, beyom tzara, in a day that you are in a trouble, in a time that you are in a trouble. Achaltzecha, I will save you. I will take you out from the trouble. Utechabdeini, and you will respect me. And we have another pasuk that we are saying it every Shabbat and every Mosai Shabbat. In the Perek Yoshev Beseter Elyon. Over there we are saying, Yikraeni ve'enehu, imo anochi betzara, call me. The literally meaning, call me and I will answer you. I will be together with you in the trouble. Achaltzehu ve'achavdehu. I will take you out from the trouble and I will respect you. Here we have respect. First pasuk speaks respect to Borei Olam, and here Borei Olam says, I will respect you. The first pasuk, Yikraeni biyom tzara, achaltzecha v'utechabdeini, says Rashi. This is the owner of Borei Olam, that I will redeem and I will take out the people in trouble, the people who have full faith in me. When everyone sees that Borei Olam helped a person that had full faith in Borei Olam, he gets a lot of honor, and there is a big Kiddush Hashem comes out from it. There is a book which is called Sefer Haredim. Sefer Haredim was written by Rabbi Eliezer Azkari. He was born in Tzfat. He lived in the time of Maran Bet Yosef a little bit. Maran Bet Yosef was in 1550. He was born in the 1600. He was a student learned by Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, the Ramak, one of the big Mekubalim, one of the biggest Mekubalim. And he wrote a book, it's called Sefer Haredim. He mentioned there all the mitzvot. He divided the mitzvot according to the body of a person. Mitzvot, this is the way. Mitzvot that you do with your hands. Mitzvot that you do with your head. Mitzvot that you do with your eyes. Mitzvot that you do with your foot. He divided all the mitzvot this way. And he writes, and I want to read it in his words. The pasuk, he says, when a person his mind is troubled with the pain that he has, with the tzara that he is there, and nevertheless he has power to believe in Borei Olam. So Borei Olam, what does he do? He says, you gave me kavod, that you believe in me, I will give you kavod. Imo anochi betzara, Achalzehu ve'achabdehu. I will do it in a nice way. I will give you, I will take him out from the trap. Let me read it in Hebrew. ואפילו בעת שאדם טרוד בצערו ואין לו כוח, חייב לפנות ליבו למעלה בחוזקה. כמאמר דוד, as David המלך said, שרה ויגון אמצא ובשם עמוני אקרא. Explains the Rambam in מורה נבוכים, שזהו מה שאמר נמי, Imo anochi betzara achalzeu v'achabdehu. That's what we are saying in Yosef Besefer. She'omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying, Sha'aish hazeh, this person, af ki tarud betzarato, even though he is bothered with his problem, he mourns, he cries, mechazek libo, velokeach oti imo, and he takes me with him. As this woman said, God, I love you. זה כבוד שעושה לי. גם אני אחלצהו ואכבדהו. I will also redeem him and I will save him. Could be this, she was mechaven to this thing that to the Sefer Haredim, that he says that she got the key and she said in the middle of all her trouble, she had the emunah, and she said, Borei Olam, I love you. On the radio, we hear all the time that they are talking about destroying Gaza. I don't know if this is the correct word that has to be used. We have in this week's parasha also a destruction of a city. The destruction of Sodom and the suburbs, like Gaza and the suburbs, Khan Yunis, all the area around. Why Borei Olam destroyed Sodom? There's a lot of answers. One of the answers is, said Sefer Akeda, Rabbi Ytzchak Arama, one of the Mefarshei HaTorah, and he says the following. Usually when a person sins, he sins means he knows the law. He knows the right law. But he sins because he has a Yetzer Hara, a desire to sin. There are laws, but he doesn't listen to the law. What Sodom means to, and when we see in Sodom that they means they did things, so bad things. They every guest that came, they used to do all bad things to him. They didn't give him food. He died. All kinds of strange laws, and they didn't help poor people. Everything what they did was very bad. And we think that means the laws were like our Torah, that you have to help, you have to do chesed, but they didn't want to do. Explain the Rabbi Yitzchak Arama in the Akeda Yitzchak in Sha'ar HaEsrim. No. What they did was something different. I want to read the language. הקימו להם דברים רעים ומגונים, means they established bad things, לחוקים ומשפטים טובים. They established them as a law in the city, that the laws in Sodom are to behave bad. This is the law. And if you don't behave bad, you are going against the law. If you don't go in this way, you are going to pay a fine. So said Borei Olam, such a thing that they are going means the laws that they established are against the logic, against the way that I created the world with mercy and chesed. I am going to do to this city upside down. ויהפוך השם את הערים האלה. בורא עולם went upside down. And therefore I think that the same thing happened here in Gaza. They don't know chesed. Their laws is totally different. Their laws is to kill Jews. This is the right way. What to do? Their law was to take out eyes of people. Their laws is to cut stomach of people. And I don't want to continue. What was their laws? So what I think what the army has to do, not only to destroy Sodom, to upside down, to destroy Gaza, and to upside Gaza. The uptown and the downtown. In Eretz Israel now, we find a lot of tzaddikim, the people who deals with the Chevra Kadisha. They sacrificed their soul. They had also a big test. And who knows, maybe the whole thing, what Borei Olam did now, he tested us. He tested a lot of aspects. How much chesed Am Yisrael has. Can a person love his friend, love his neighbor? How people can deal with chesed shel emet, all kinds of these things. Let's hope that Borei Olam will listen to our prayers and will see the learning and the addition of learning that people, boys, are adding more, sacrificing from themselves to do extra things in front of Borei Olam. So Borei Olam will have pity on Am Yisrael and will save Am Yisrael and will bring back all the captivities healthy and peacefully. Have a Shabbat Shalom.